Drop that Dirky Dirk, hey, don't drop that Dirky Dirk.
This is DJ4TV. Hello everybody, I have Dirky Dirk, and I've been thinking about legendaries and how to get legendaries. And it started to make me think about, if you were just starting Crossout for the first time, what could you do to make the grind a little bit faster, a little bit more concentrated, a little bit more specialized? So that's why I made a new account. Let's see what happens. And of course, first thing I have to do is jump into battle, so let me just do that real quick. So nothing new to report here, but if you're a new player, I can still give you some tips right over here. First of all, stay with your team. Second of all, know that the gameplay will be boring, it will be sucky. Hang in there, it gets so much better. And third, go for the weapons first. Always go for weapons first. So here's where I want to start thinking about legendaries, because of course we start with this stuff, but we're going to want, eventually, we're going to want to have some rare weapons, and from rare we want to go to epics. And let's face it, you're gonna want to have legendaries. So let's find the easiest way possible to start grinding for legendaries from the very start. What I recommend is go to YouTube, see what people are playing, what appeals to you. And before you do anything, just start to specialize. Let's look at every faction. Here is lunatics, and let's go straight to legendaries. You've got Hammerfalls and harvesters. So decide, do you want to have shotguns? Harvesters take a while, I guarantee that. Then nomads, you want to have middle distance. You've got your retros over here, your grenade launchers, a lot of spam, and you got some better machine guns. Not amazingly great for legendary, but still, it's up to you. Think about what you want. Again, reapers, gonna take a while. Let's go to scavengers. What do they got? Hurricanes, mammoth, it's gonna take a while. So keep that in mind. We want to get a legendary faster. So I happen to know about Hammerfalls and how cool they are. So let's just say I want to go straight for Hammerfalls. No problem. Let's see, what do we need to build Hammerfalls? And here we go. That is the purple needed to make Hammerfalls. You need 2 thunderbolts. So first you're going to be making these puppies. How to make thunderbolts? Well, first you need to make these blues. Spitfires you can make through engineers, not a problem. And sledgehammers, you're going to have to be a lunatic to make sledgehammers. And boosters too, that's also lunatics, no problem. So if I want Hammerfalls, first I know what faction I need, I know what to craft. But of course now I have to keep on fighting, so I will. Eventually get more stuff, and get your paint, and then you gotta get some better weapons. And first you want to protect your weapons with some vendors and kind of stuff. You want to protect your front with a bumper for ramming, and just kind of slap some armor on your cab. Didn't need extra frames, can make it a little bit shorter. And with all those missions I got lots of scrap. I'm gonna save that for now, for making blue parts later. We're going to do a raid. Raids will give you copper, so once you have your scrap and your copper, you can start to make your blues. Boom! We did it! Okay folks, so I made it to level 7. So what happens now is, in the engineer factions, I can now make stuff. So I need 4 of these all together, and this is what I need for it. I just don't get enough copper from these early raids to make it worth it. And copper is pretty cheap. I always buy copper. If you want to do raids, you should do it. And these white items, they could be worth grinding for. Let's see, but for 10 cents, no way. 50 cents, I could grind for that. And I have one already. This is pretty cheap. I'll buy it. So I'll buy 2 of these things just to ease us along. And just like that, I have a blue. That was not hard to grind for. For a blue, no way. Build. Okay, there's one problem. Since the making of that last cut, they brought back the engineer workbench. So yes, if you go into your blues, you will have to pay for a workbench. I forget how much it is. But have no fear, if you do your dailies, then under weekly challenges, once you do enough dailies, you will always get a miner's container. And that can be sold for $36.84. That is always enough for a workbench. Okay folks, so finally I reached level 10 in engineers. And you know what that means? I'm gonna join lunatics, yes I will. And what that means is now I can finally get my sledgehammers. Now's the time when I cry because I have to have 25 gold to make the sledgehammer. So no worries, after a week you will get this, sell it, and there get your workbench. There's a much better way of doing this research. You can go to the Crossout database, which I can't recommend enough. It's really awesome. So here I see all legendaries, and it tells me whether I should craft these or buy them. So is it worth actually doing the grind and spending resources, or is it just cheaper than the actual resources? So if I go here to Hammerfall, it'll tell me right here what I need to make. And here are the purples: Thunderbolt, Cheetah, Powerful Radar. So let's start with the Thunderbolts. To do that, we have to craft these blues. So Spitfire from Engineers, 2 of those, 2 Sledgehammers, 2 Rocket Boosters, give you 1 Thunderbolt. But you're going to need 2 Thunderbolts to make your Hammerfall. So that means 4 Spitfires, 4 Sledgehammers, 4 Rocket Boosters equals 2 Thunderbolts, which will go towards your Hammerfall. So while you're grinding, use the Spitfires and Sledgehammers in your builds. That's it. That's what you use. And then once you have your purples, you're just going to use your Thunderbolts. Use that for your builds and your grinding. Then let's go to your Cheetah. Cheetahs enter a lot of packs. If you want to buy a pack like a Karita or a Bully pack, those have cheetahs, and I really do recommend that. And here's the booze that you need to make that. So for Dunhorse and Wyvern, you're going to have to go to your Nomads. And then Powerful Radar, strangely enough, is Scavengers. So you have to go into Scavengers and build these things. Look at the prices here. It might be worth it once you're grinding and you're selling your fuel and getting some extra cash. You might want to buy the cheetah instead of grind it, and just go right into Scavengers and start crafting these blues. Now, it's going to still take a long time, but if you specialize very, very early, it's going to save you months and months to craft a Hammerfall. And what I recommend is you get the scrap metal from doing your dailies. The copper is very cheap. You can do raids, but I prefer just to buy it because I don't like doing raids. Batteries you can get through PvP. And electronics, I just save my badges and convert my badges into electronics. Easy. No hard raids. So again, hope that helps, and I am so glad to be getting out of Isotope Land, as I call it, and back to my main account. Please give a like, and we are aiming for 350 subscribers by January 1st. And we love you. We will see you later. Bye.
Don't drop that Dirk Dirk. Hey, don't drop that Dirk